Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 S.H.T.F prepping firearms. So basically, we're going to be talking about the guns that most preppers and survivalists alike are going to use for a shit hit the fan scenario. This is not a comprehensive list. This is just my top 5 list. Alright, so we'll get right into it. As far as number 1 for me, it's going to be the one at the very top of your screen, the AK-47 7.62 by 39. That's a 30 caliber bullet. It's known the world over, probably one of the most deadliest weapons as far as being in the used in the most conflicts around the world. Russian designed weapon, probably one of the greatest things that ever came out of Russia, in my opinion. So, alright, next down, second one down from the top is going to be the AR-15. This is the infamous AR-15 that the news media has bashed and called an evil, weapon of war. It's nothing of that sort. It is a 5.56 and 223 chamber. It is basically your standard AR-15. If you guys know anything about AR-15s, it's just a regular run-of-the-mill AR-15. Nothing special about it. I've got pretty much all my rifles, long guns, I have optics of some sort on. That gun, I actually have a O-light flashlight, weapons mounted light on there on the front Picatinny rail. I also have single point slings for both of those, the AR and the AK, that I run with those, and backup iron sights on those as well. Again, the reason why these are going to make my top 5, the AR, known for good military record, great performance, lots of parts, lots of aftermarket parts. The list, I could go on all day about that. And the AK-47 is just known worldwide for its dependability. You can pretty much drop that sucker off in the jungle, it'll perform, in the sand, it'll perform, pretty much unstoppable weapon platform. So that's why those two on the top there make my top 5 list. Moving down, so we're on this one right here, third one down. This is a 22 long rifle. This is a Marlin 22. It is not a magazine fed, but is a tube fed. I believe it holds 16 rounds in the tube, plus 1. Lever action. I've got a Bushnell scope on there. This is a very old gun. I believe this gun is from the 60s. It got passed down to me. A very good functional gun. You're going to want something that can take down small game, small to medium-sized game, I should say. Again, 22, highly prevalent round. I wanted to try to go with calibers that I knew would be around in a S.H.T.F situation. So you're, pretty much everybody I know at least has a 22, either pistol or rifle, and the ammunition is definitely out there. And the ammunition is light enough to carry a ton of it with you if you did have to bug out. So that's why that gun's on my top 5. Alright, next down, last rifle on the bottom here. This is the Mosin Nagant. This makes my list. It is 7.62 by 54R. It's very high powered. It's similar to a 308 round, if you're familiar with that caliber. It's very similar trajectories and everything. This gun is a great prepper gun, especially if you're on a tight budget. As of making this video, 2018, you can still pick these up. The market is starting to dry up from these though, and the prices are starting to go up. I probably picked this rifle up about, I'd say 4 years ago. And at that time, I was able to, I think I only paid $200 for this rifle, and that's with the transfer fees and everything like that associated with it. And then of course I painted the stock black because the stock was beat, and I added an optic on it. I added a buttstock, couple little aftermarket things there. But basically these are great rifles for preppers, especially on a budget. You can still pick these up, I want to say around $350 now. It depends on the model variation. This is a Chinese variant, kind of like the AKs. Pretty much every communist country got their variation, kind of like the AKs got a variation from every communist country that had them. So I believe this is it's a Type 53 Chinese variant, but it's basically the same thing. It's the exact same thing. This is more in a carbine length. That's really the only difference between like the 9130s and the Type 53s. Alright, and last but not least, you're going to want some kind of defensive pistol. And in my humble opinion, the Glock 19 is kind of the one-size-fits-all pistol for prepping. You know, everybody's going to have their own opinion and be entitled to their own opinion. But in my humble opinion, I think this gun is an awesome prepping gun because A, it's easy to use. You pull the trigger, it goes bang. There's not any safeties on it. There's not any, a bunch of stuff. You could basically give anybody this gun in a shit hit the fan situation, and within 2 minutes they'd be able to operate this gun. It's another attribute I love about it is that you can get high cap mags for it. Right next to it there, to the left of it, is a 33 round high cap mag. I can put right in that Glock 19, and I have 33 rounds of ammunition at my disposal. I can also get 50 round drums for that exact same gun. And my wife also owns a Glock 26. Guess what? I can take all those mags and put them right in her compact Glock 26. They're all chambered in 9mm. So 9mm is what, at least around me, is what most police forces use. So you're definitely going to be able to get your hands on some 9mm ammunition. So that is not going to be a problem if shit hit the fan for you. The only one I would say, on that note, the only one I would say that you might have a hard time finding ammunition for is the Mosin Nagant. Just simply because the most of it is imported still from the communist countries. And you can get spam cans of this stuff still today, 440 rounds in a spam can. And so you could definitely stock up on it. And there is other guns that are cheap out there. This is just what I have accumulated. So I'm not saying by any means this list is the end all be all. And you know, everybody has their right to their own opinions. So, and I'll give you a number 6 bonus gun, because I know people are going to say, oh, you don't have the shotgun. Well, I have a shotgun. This is just a single break open action 12 gauge shotgun. I think everybody probably has one of these at some point. That one was a hand-me-down, and I know I need to upgrade to at least a pump action shotgun, but that is on my list. Prepping's about getting everything that you possibly think you're going to need in a S.H.T.F situation. So that took a back seat to, you know, prepping water, food, you know, other aspects of prepping. It's all encompassing. Pretty much everything you think you would ever need has to come into play. And this whole channel is about doing it on a budget. So pretty much all the firearms you see here are pretty budget friendly. I think probably the AR-15 was the most expensive gun that you see here out of this, and that's like a $750 gun. And that's, for a lot of people, that's stretching it. They cannot afford that. Like I said, I always say in my videos, you're raising a family, you're trying to make ends meet, you're trying to provide food on the table for your kids. It's not going to happen. I had to sell a lot of things to be able to purchase that gun. Personal belongings that I had, that I thought I was going to keep, that I wound up, you know what, I don't need that as much. So maybe that's something in your life. If you don't have almost $800 to shell out for a firearm, maybe you have something around the house, maybe some extra stereo equipment or what have you. Hey, I don't really need that. I'm not using that. Let me sell that and try to get some funds together to go buy a defensive type weapon that could definitely help me and my family to survive in said S.H.T.F. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap up my video. If you can't tell, I'm a pretty passionate guy about firearms and the Second Amendment. I think it's one of the most important under the freedom of speech. So, our forefathers knew that firearms were, key for this country's survival. So I hope everybody out there is as passionate as I am about them. And like I said, in prepping, it's all-encompassing. Pretty much everything you think you'd ever need is what you have to prepare for. So this is just one key element, and I hope everybody gets inspired and decides to fight for the Second Amendment. And tell me in the comments. Tell me what you guys think. And you guys have a great day as always. Thank you for watching.